Hello, I'm Bob Lancer, and the purpose of this show is to lead you into the life you truly want to be living. It is also about helping you to better understand and relate with others, especially the children in your life, in support of their great potential. So this show is for anyone who wants to live with more peace and purpose and positive power to soar into the fulfillment of our greatest promise. Inevitable success. It starts with an attitude. Here is how to experience it. Think of a goal, something that you would love to come about. How would you feel if you knew, without a doubt, that your complete and total success relative to this goal was inevitable? Hold on to that idea and the positive feeling that comes in association with it until holding it begins to feel unnatural, begins to feel like a strain. Then let it go. After a break, you can repeat the exercise. But as soon as it feels like a strain to hold on to your thought and feeling, let it go. Letting thoughts and feelings flow naturally is an important skill, one that is key to your inevitable success. As you direct your thoughts, feelings, speech, and actions, you direct your life. But you can only exercise so much control without creating blockages for yourself. Your thoughts form your circumstances, and your feelings create conditions that resemble the quality of their resonance. Your speech and actions amplify and reinforce the creative power of your thoughts and feelings. Directing your life begins, therefore, with directing the inner world of your thought and feeling. For instance, when you think about a financial future that you fear, you experience feelings of anxiety and frustration. Your thought forms the financial plight you imagine, and your feelings create the chaotic conditions that produce that plight. Your fear-driven actions and speech accelerate this downhill creative process. Individuals who are unaware of the creative nature of their mental and emotional states confuse inner conditions with outer conditions, and that makes them feel powerless. If you feel insecure about your finances, it really has nothing to do with how much money you have or how many bills you have to pay. The fact is that no amount of money can buy you a state of lasting financial security. Financial security is an emotional state, not a monetary state. And emotional conditions go up and down. They flow in waves. The more you block that flow, the more powerless you feel, and the more stuck you feel in your difficulties. To experience more financial security, you need to learn how to better manage your thoughts and emotions. As you do that, you can better manage your money. As you let your thoughts of financial lack and your feelings of financial insecurity pass through you, instead of holding on to them, you will find yourself experiencing more and more freedom from financial insecurity and more power to create increasing abundance in your life. The mistake we usually make with our disturbing thoughts and emotions is to unconsciously hold on to them. You can only hold on to an idea and an emotion so long before the effort gradually causes increasing tension and stress. Tension and stress tune you into more distressing thoughts and feelings, and those, in turn, drive you to create more chaos and conflict. One of life's most liberating discoveries occurs when you realize that thoughts and feelings, even the most distressing ones, naturally pass very soon, unless we unnaturally hold onto them. You can't ever really get rid of a disturbing thought or an unpleasant emotional state. You can't really push them away, but you can let them pass through you by not holding on to them. Each time you do this, you become more skillful at it. You give your disturbing thought and feeling less of your power. giving you more power to create what you really want in your life. Thoughts and emotions flow in wave patterns. They gradually rise to their crescendo of intensity, and then they gradually settle down, all on their own. When you try to push a thought or emotion away, or rush its departure, you end up increasing its intensity and strengthening its hold on you. When this happens, if you're not conscious of your inner life, it appears that you're stuck in external problems beyond your control. But as you become more conscious of your inner life, you see that you are causing yourself to feel stuck by keeping yourself stuck in your disturbed internal condition. This occurs, for instance, when we feel like a failure. Failure is always false, because failure is nothing but a thought. Failure is a way of looking at what happened. It's a purely imaginary experience, a mental representation of reality. It's an experience that you give yourself by thinking about how you lost or about what you did not accomplish. When you see yourself as a failure or as a disappointment, you're not really looking at yourself. You're viewing a mental movie of yourself and identifying with the image you project on the screen of your mind. To leave failure behind, simply let the movie go. All you have to do is learn something worthwhile from your so-called failure to achieve greater success. Focus on the gains and opportunities that your present situation offers and discover an unending supply of these. All you have to do is to not hold on to the idea of failing, to exit the experience of failure within seconds. As long as you hold on to the feelings and ideas of failure, your failure seems inescapable. The same is true regarding doubt. If you doubt that your success is inevitable, don't hold on to the doubt. Don't relate with the doubt as the truth. It's just an opinion. It may be your opinion at the moment, but it's still just an opinion. For all you know, your success actually is inevitable. Let the feeling of doubt flow through you, and it will very quickly set you free to believe once again in your success's inevitability. One of life's greatest successes is achieved as you release your hold on the internal experiences of doubt and fear. Like failure, success is an internal condition. You can experience your success only by envisioning it. Unless you conceive of yourself succeeding, even if you are actually achieving one of your goals, you don't experience the success. There are many individuals who have achieved a great deal, only to find themselves feeling more like a failure than ever before. They feel like a failure because of what they are focusing on, unconsciously, within. They have developed the habit of unconsciously holding on to inner visions of themselves failing. They're focusing on what they're losing, on what they're not accomplishing, on what they can't control. No matter how much they get it right, they focus on what they get wrong. And the longer they do this, the wronger they feel. To experience financial abundance or wealth, you merely need to envision yourself experiencing the wealthy conditions that you want to be in. Another way to experience wealth is to contemplate all of the ways that you already are wealthy. The same applies to success. To experience any particular form of success, you merely have to imagine yourself experiencing that success with all the wonderful feelings that it brings. You can also give yourself the experience of success by contemplating all the ways that you already are successful. There is no end to how much success you can discover this way. If you have difficulty imagining yourself succeeding, that means you're holding on to feelings of discouragement and insecurity about your possibilities. Try right now to imagine yourself accomplishing all that you want in life. And notice how you feel as you do that. If you feel any trace of discouragement, frustration, or anxiety, stop trying to envision success Instead, just focus your attention on how you feel. Trying to feel differently than you feel, trying to think positively when you feel negatively, usually produces inner conflict, increasing stress and strain. It causes you to feel more stuck and generates conditions that appear to confirm how stuck you feel. Here is how to set yourself free and how to let your inevitable success be. When you feel insecure, angry, discouraged, or any form of unhappiness or emotional unpleasantness, allow how you feel to be. Consciously allow and experience how you feel as long as the feeling lasts, no matter how painful or overwhelming the feeling is. Do nothing to get the feeling to stop, because all that would do is deepen and strengthen its hold upon you. Now there's one more important step to gaining freedom and progressing along the path of inevitable success. Refrain from saying or doing anything that expresses your disturbed emotional state. Don't even think thoughts that express it. While this may sound impossible, you'll find that you really can do it more and more adeptly with practice. We express and thereby reinforce our disturbed feelings in our speech by, for example, criticizing and complaining. If you feel impatient with someone, you might express that by blurting out a criticism like, "Can't you move any faster?" If you feel insecure about your finances, you might express that feeling by talking about your worries to your spouse. While you're attempting to get free from your unpleasant feeling by expressing it in speech, you're actually attaching yourself to it more strongly and deeply. We express and reinforce our disturbed feelings through our actions when we permit our negative emotions to run our behavior. For instance, you might slam your fist on the desk in anger, or make a desperate phone call to someone who owes you money. There's nothing wrong with making that call, but if you do it under the influence of insecurity, you are reinforcing your fear. Even if the call ends up getting you the money, which it probably won't because your fear will likely trigger the other person's defensiveness, you have still fed your pattern of feeling financially insecure, so that the feeling will return and return more strongly and more quickly. We express and reinforce disturbed feelings through thought when we think thoughts that keep us feeling disturbed. For instance, when you resent someone, you're thinking of something that person did that bothers you. As long as you think of that, you express the resentment mentally and reinforce it. If you feel worried about your future, entertaining thoughts of the dangers feeds your worries. As you practice feeling your feelings while refraining from expressing them mentally in speech and in action, you will discover that it takes you deeper and deeper into layer after layer of subtlety. We can express feelings with a brief roll of the eyes or a momentary pursing of the lips, slumping our shoulders and letting our head drop down. We express feelings by thinking about what we regret or dread. With practice, you'll be able to free yourself at a deeper and deeper level, releasing more and more of your creative power to achieve inevitable, even miraculous success. Now, this is the opposite of how conventional therapists usually approach painful feelings. They would have you venting your emotions. Venting can help you get in touch with how you feel. And it may exhaust you to the point that you don't feel that much pain surrounding that particular issue for a while. But it does not free you from unconsciously holding on to your emotional pain. Until we awaken to this, we blame others or our circumstances for the agony that we unconsciously are holding on to. One of the most profound aspects of this inner work has to do with gaining freedom from the negative consequences of past mistakes. When you feel deep grief, anger, regret, or even shame over a past misdeed, let the feeling be there. Experience it fully and without resistance, no matter how much it hurts. At the same time, carefully do your best to refrain from thinking, speaking, or acting in ways that express that feeling. What this accomplishes is burning up the energy on a purely emotional level surrounding your mistake. This dissipates that energy before it manifests more concrete conditions that cause you to suffer or pay more dearly. Here's how this works. Recently, I accidentally destroyed someone's check made out to me for a sizable sum of money. I told the individual what happened and asked him to please send me another. He said that he would, but it didn't arrive. I gave it a week to come and then called again when it didn't show up. He apologized for forgetting and promised to send it. I gave it another week and still no check. This time I emailed him and did not receive a response. I was tempted to resent this person, but I remained honest enough with myself to admit that I caused myself this problem by being careless with the check in the first place. Instead of focusing on how the other person was letting me down, I accepted all the inner pain I felt in response to letting myself down. I felt angry at myself, guilty, ashamed, and it brought up feelings of financial insecurity. I carefully worked on doing my best to refrain from thinking, speaking, or acting in ways that expressed my painful feelings, and I did a fairly good job of it. In fact, I found this to be a great opportunity to develop my mastery of my mental and emotional self-management. The painful feelings came in waves that quickly passed, and then they would return and then pass again. And little by little, the painful waves lessened in frequency and in intensity. Had I slipped into the common habit of resenting the other person, I would have been repressing how I actually felt about myself for making the mistake. I'd be ducking my responsibility for it, which would have helped me to repeat my mistake in circumstances in which a similar mistake would prove even more costly. That is how we bring more severe consequences upon ourselves. I'm still hoping to receive that check, but I feel confident that as I work with my emotions in this honest way, my financial success is guaranteed either way, and my ultimate losses will prove minimal to negligible in the long run. I also realize that this experience gave me an opportunity to teach an important lesson to others, to help them. So in a way, I paid for my ability to share this wisdom with you, which is one of the most fulfilling things that I can do with my life. As you practice letting your disturbed emotional states pass, instead of holding on to them, you will develop greater skill in managing your emotions and feel increasingly free. Never try to envision what you want while you feel anxious, frustrated, or impatient. It's like eating fresh, healthy food off of a fork that is tainted with poison. For instance, if you try to envision yourself succeeding financially while you feel financially insecure, you end up reinforcing your sense of disconnection from your financial goals. Your insecurity about your financial situation will deepen, and your financial trouble will seem more and more inescapable. When you feel a sense of fulfillment, security, inspiration, and accomplishment in association with your visualization of success, you are making your success inevitable. When you feel free of feelings of insecurity, frustration, or discouragement, that's the time to imagine miraculous levels of success. And that level of success then becomes inevitable. Now, sometimes, by imagining success when you feel like a failure, you can actually help yourself out of those negative feelings. But you have to be very aware of how you feel while you're visualizing. Because often, visualizing what you want while you're feeling discouraged only reinforces and deepens your frustration and discouragement. When you feel inspired, fulfilled, encouraged, and confident in association with your visualization of success, Try to hold on to that, but only until it feels unnatural, until you begin to feel strained, even in the slightest degree, in doing so. We can't hold on to any feeling indefinitely. It definitely takes long-term practice to develop your skills of managing your emotions for inevitable success. But as soon as you begin this practice, you'll probably begin feeling better and experiencing less resistance to the accomplishment of your goals. Essentially, there are two sides to being successful. We usually think of only one side. The side we usually think of is the demonstration of the power of control. To be successful, you must control and direct your life in line with your goals. You must be able to impose order upon the chaos of your life. But the other side has to do with the skills of being out of control, because you can only direct events so much. Sometimes it takes all of your effort to keep the chaos of your situation from controlling you. And sometimes you can't even accomplish that. There comes a point when you need to recognize the limits of your control and learn how to handle being out of control. In both phases, the same basic skills are required. The skill of being aware of how you are creating what you are experiencing and how to create more of what you want. Just as thought, speech, and action that express negative feelings feed and reinforce those negative feelings, when you express your attitude of inevitable success in thought and speech and action, you empower that attitude and liberate more of your power to work on accomplishing your goals. You express the inevitable success attitude in action by going and growing for what you want. When you actually take action for what you want, you program your subconscious in a powerful way. You give it the message that you really do want to achieve this goal and that you really can achieve it. This message to your subconscious releases its unlimited power to work more and more potently for your success. Your subconscious is that part of your mind that directs your thoughts, emotions, desires, speech, and actions. By taking action for what you want, you direct your subconscious to create, to see, and to seize more and more opportunity to advance in the direction of your goal. If you don't take action for what you want, your subconscious receives the message that you don't really want to achieve this, and that you don't really have the power to achieve it. That is why taking even the smallest, easiest action steps is infinitely better than taking no action at all. To reinforce your inevitable success attitude and to harness your inevitable success power through speech means engaging in speech that helps you to achieve your goal. This may involve speaking verbal affirmations aloud to yourself like, "My success is inevitable." It may involve stating your goals aloud to yourself like, "I will achieve my financial goals this year." But there is a far more potent way of using your speech to further your success. Develop your communication skills. This may include being more conscious of when you slip into the negative habit of blaming and complaining. It may include developing the assertiveness to ask for what you want, or developing more precision in how you explain your ideas and requests to others. As you employ a higher level of communication skill in service of your objective, you release more power to achieve your goals. When you speak in ways that express your confidence, your love, your freedom, your joy, your inspiration, your power, your gratitude, you reinforce those states in yourself and in those you are communicating with. You employ your thinking in a way that reinforces your inevitable success power by thinking about what you want to bring about and by engaging in strategic thinking. Another way of using thought for inevitable success is to apply your mind to gaining useful information, useful education that can help you to achieve your goals. Use your power of thought speech, and action to reinforce your inevitable success attitude and to release more of your endless supply of inevitable success power. When your best efforts lead to disappointment, regard your reaction of disappointment as all that stands between you and your success. As you let that feeling of disappointment flow, you let it go. Then continue to go and to grow for what you want. You'll discover yourself moving forward again, and with more power and certainty than you had before. As you progress towards success, you will find that there is a rhythm to it. There's a rhythm at work everywhere in life. There is the rhythm of your breathing, the rhythmic alternation from day to night, the rhythmic alternation of a flying bird's wings. The rhythm of inevitable success occurs in the alternation between taking positive action and clearing out doubt. For a while, you'll find yourself feeling free to move forward, to take action for what you want, feeling encouraged. But then things will shift. You may come upon some obstacle, loss, or setback. You might simply find yourself feeling depleted of inspiration or out of ideas. Your main work here is to become aware of the negativity at work within you so that you can let it go. The greater your goal, the larger your project, the bigger your dream, the more likely it is that you're going to come up against situations that trigger your fear that it can't happen. Well, now you know how to let go of the fear that has been holding you back. You know what to do. You know how to move through the darkness by letting the darkness move through you without feeding it or holding on to it. You know the way of inevitable success. And that's all the time we have for today's broadcast of Bob Lancer's Answers. To order a recording of today's show or of previous shows, and for more information about my work, check out my website at boblancer.com. That's BOBLANCER.com.